Ah yeah! Welcome to my upgraded Chevy Silverado. It's a 2022 Duramax motor, max towing package, RST, all the goods. So let me show you the goods and bad things about this truck. Why did I upgrade? Let's get into it. So I made it over here into sort of like a secluded area. That probably is the best spot to actually review a truck, especially a pickup truck or anything that's four-wheel drive. This particular one is pretty much exactly identical as my previous one. I'll show you a picture. It was a 2020 3-liter Duramax, also Chevy Silverado. Came with a basic 323 differential for good gas mileage, and that thing was giving me really good gas mileage, so I can't complain about that. It was towing pretty good too, decent features, but it wasn't loaded. It wasn't like that uniqueness that I actually usually look for. This particular one has 10-speed transmission, which is great. No crazy transfer cases. It's just the original transfer case 10-speed transmission, but it does have max towing package with 373 gear ratios in the diff. It's beefed up suspension as far as the rear, because it usually on the previous one, when I put a trailer on, and I did trailer a lot of heavy things, it would actually squat a lot. That's why I installed airbags. This one unfortunately does squat as well, perhaps not as much as the previous one, but it does squat, so it will require airbags. And I already did one stupid mod which not a lot of people will agree with, which are actually wheel spacers. Perhaps right now you are not able to tell because of the elevation that it's on and basically on uneven surface, but we are running 1.25 spacer up front and 2-inch spacer in the back. If I was to zoom in, we can sort of see the wheels sticking out a little bit, but that makes it perfectly stands out in a way that I would actually like. So what are the new features of the 2022 Duramax Silverado? Definitely the front end. Totally different headlights. Those headlights are really awesome. Daytime running lights are really awesome too. Everything is pretty much changed and switched over. I love how it presents itself basically right there. Comes with standard LED headlights as well as LED fog lights, which are located right here. We got some red tow hooks, and this is the Redline edition. Redline edition comes with some red, black and red accents as far as the logo, the mirrors, and the wheels as well. Unfortunately, if you want to go bigger wheels, I don't think you can get a 373 differential, because per specs you have to have 20-inch wheels to have max towing package, and I'm not 100% sure if that's correct. If it's not, please correct me, but I believe that's what it is. I was hoping to actually wash this thing to actually show you guys how beautiful it looks when it's washed, but unfortunately we are located in the state of Illinois where you can wash your car right now and it's gonna rain in about 2 hours, and then it's gonna be sunny again, and then it's gonna rain once again, so it's really pointless to have this washed as of right now. The new remote control that comes with this is a little bit different. It's pretty much the same remote that comes on more of the newer vehicles above 2020, with a few buttons like a remote start, which comes standard on those, tailgate opening, locking, unlocking, and alarm. really good feature is the unlocking of the tailgate. This particular one has that option where you can actually unlock it and lock it remotely by either pressing a button or pressing on the key fob. So as you guys have seen, that opens really nicely and closes really nicely. It does give you sound that it's actually something's happening, so you will, even if it opens, you will know that it opens because it gives you sound, so you are aware of your surroundings and what's going on. Standard, this is a short bed actually. I would find this standard enough for my usage, so it's not bad. And of course, if you close it, you just press a button and it does it automatically, which is pretty sick for a tailgate. I never had that feature before, so to me this is like right on, awesome. Basically the Red On edition comes with blacked out emblems, so everything's blacked out. This is our first camera. This thing actually does have 360 degrees camera with the bird view and everything, which is fantastic. So we have one camera right here. The back end didn't really change from the previous model, it's pretty much the same. The only thing that changed between my truck and this truck is the exhaust pipes, because now we are rocking two of them instead of just one like I had on the previous one. Same 4x4 logo as on my previous one, nothing has changed. Obviously different wheels, different steps. They are pretty sturdy, can't complain. Everything works great, it matches the color of the truck and everything looks perfect. Here we have the other camera. This is the camera for the left side, obviously. Same thing on the mirror on the right side. Here we have next camera and some kind of a sensor. I believe that is something that deals with like your surrounding distance control maybe. Front end, the logo has moved up. This used to be lower on the older models. This one is much higher. It gives you that mean stance. Obviously, in this particular color, black with black, it looks good. If we were to go for the LT version or LTZ, it comes with a lot of chrome. I do not like chrome. I'm not a chrome person, and to me, everything chromed out looks like crap. Standard tires that come on those with the 20-inch wheels are pretty much the more aggressive Bridgestone, which those are currently 275/60 and R20, so they're 20-inch. As far as the suspension, it is your basic suspension like any pickup truck. So we have coils in the front and actually leaf springs in the back. No, this is not a Dodge to have all coils. Nope, it does have leaf springs, which according to the sticker are stiffer when it comes to, because of the max loading package, so they're much stiffer and much better. I can't really say that this is the truth because it feels exactly as comfortable as the previous one, and actually everything works exactly as the previous one, so to me it's identical. I don't see the difference. Because of COVID shortage and everything else, the liners are obviously not present and not there. That is a retro fit or fit later or something like that, so I will have to come back and have that fit to the truck whenever it's available. Back has inputs for camera, so you can actually hook up a camera that goes into your trailer. It has two ports over here, as well as your standard 6-pin connector. It does not once again have that really little 4 narrow plug that was on my previous one, which I have used on a different trailer. So that means that if I get a trailer that doesn't have a 6-pin, I would have to probably get an adapter or some kind of a conversion for that. One of the biggest changes in this particular model year is the interior. I would say that Chevy finally stepped up and did the interior that they were meant to have on previous models and every other model, which means big screens, touch screens, beautiful looking dash. Everything is right where it's supposed to be. So what we have is, let's press a button over here. Of course, gives us our beep. We have a big screen right here for your radio. We do have our display right here for everything else. This thing is great. Comes with satellite radio, which of course you have to pay for the subscription. All the hotspots, Google Maps, which most likely after the trial you're gonna have to get a package, like an internet package for that to work. Obviously everything is going through AT&T as well, so whatever the internet connection is being done is through AT&T. As far as right here, we have few buttons. The lane assist button, parking button, which let's say does not work. We have the start stop. The dumbest option I've seen so far is this one. This is our tailgate, all windows down, and obviously our traction, our fun button. On the bottom, which is also great because everything pretty much flows into it, and we have physical buttons, ladies and gentlemen. You can still use the screen for the heater adjustment, but you don't have to. So you have actual physical buttons, no touch sensitive crap where you just don't know what the hell's going on. This is our media screen which is 13.4 inches, and that's 12.4 I believe on this side. But anyway, this is the one I want to focus on a little bit right now. First that got me confused is like, what the hell was this? Well, apparently that's your home button. So once you press the home button, it goes into your menu where you can choose different things like your applications and everything else. This screen is split into two halves. So what we have is basically you can have your maps on this side as well as your clock and all the other funky looking features by just scrolling up. This is where you connect the trailer, will give you trailering information and a big clock so you know exactly how late you are to your next appointment. So let's go into our camera. This particular model, like I've mentioned, comes with a 360-degree cameras. Pretty high definition cameras, I would say, for the most part. Some of the things are distorted, are pretty much right here in the corners, but that's explanatory, self-explanatory, simply because there's only 4 cameras and it's trying to create an image from just 4 cameras. If it would be more, it would be better. But anyway, there's few options. You can have the front view as well as the back view, which switches right away. There's no problems with that. Then you can look at your wheels and see your position. So let's say you're off-roading and you're like, yeah, I don't know if I should get out. You can hit that and see exactly from the front what's going on, where your position of the car is, and in the back where your position is and where your tires will actually make contact. So let's go back to that menu. And one other feature is, let's say you are rock climbing with this thing, which I don't think anybody's gonna rock climb with a pickup truck that's worth a lot of money, but you have this feature over here. This camera shows you the front wheels and you will see exactly where your wheels are and your back wheels. Back wheels look extremely distorted because this thing is using the cameras that are in the mirrors to look at the back, so basically it cuts out an image, piece of image, and that's how it shows you. Next one is for your hooking up your your trailer, which is a great feature also. I love this thing. It's come in use many times already. Let's go back to that. And then we have our basic view and your trailer view right here, which I don't really see the difference. So that's something I'm gonna have to test. Redline edition comes with leather package as far as your seats and everything else. The materials, like I've mentioned before, are pretty good. I mean, this will scratch eventually, but the wood looking plastic is not that bad. It gives you that classic look. And let's remember once again, this is also a pickup truck. It's not a luxury car, so I can't really complain about that. Now let's go into the sound section, where the sound section is a little bit different, and let me show you why. One annoying thing, at least to me, let's say you want to adjust your bass and your highs and everything else. So this is actually a Bose system, so a lot of people say no lows, no highs, no lows. You gotta have Bose or something like that. So you're gonna hit audio, right? No, that goes into your straight XM and all the menu where you can select what you want to do. AM, FM, Bluetooth, Android Auto, even YouTube Music. All those things are accessible right here, including tune-in radio, even USB. But okay, what if I actually want to adjust things? There is really no way for you to do that unless, oh, you know what the hell is this? That takes you back to the equalizer section, which I believe should be a little bit more accessible from the main menu. But you know, to each their own. Kind of, some people will like this, some people will not. I'm not the biggest fan. When I first got into it and I was trying to adjust the bass because it had none. It sounds better, and I think now that I've driven it for around 1700 miles, the bass got a little bit deeper, so it like got worked itself in, I would say, but it's still missing that deep bass. And yes, there is an option where you can actually have a sort of like OEM subwoofer mounted in the back seats with plug and play, amp, everything is plug and play. But I need that for storage. I need that back section to be used for storage, rags, tools, whatever is necessary under the seats should be used for storage, not necessarily a subwoofer. So let's go, let me give you a sample of what it sounds like. We have a Sirius XM right now, some station 735. I found this one to have decent bass, so let's turn this up a little bit. It sounds good. It sounds good. As far as like highs, it does have highs. As far as lows, it's getting better, it's getting there, but it's not lows that you will feel in your body like it was in my stock Bose system in my previous 2020. It's getting there, you know, it's getting there. Maybe, like I said, it has to be worked in somehow, or the more you use it, the more maybe you get used to it, not necessarily you get what you want. Sound system is decent, you know what, for being Bose, it sounds decent. My dad just picked up a 22 Tahoe, pretty much the same sound system by Bose, but man, the bass over there, it rips exactly as it was in my previous pickup truck. So I know this isn't as premium as I would think the premium in the description means, because it obviously, according to the sticker price, this thing has premium audio. So that's one of the annoying things, is the audio system when it comes to deep bass, but otherwise it works okay. Let me show you one other annoying thing. Number one annoying, bass, at least in this particular model. Next thing, this damn button, start stop, deactivated. It's a diesel. I don't see a reason for them to put a start stop for emission or MPG on a diesel of this kind of caliber. Don't do start stop. Definitely eliminate the start stop, because that is annoying as hell. You have to press the button every single time you get in. When you start a truck, you gotta press that button. Sometimes you just forget. That's number two annoying feature. Next annoying feature, on the steering wheel we have all the beautiful options. Everything pretty much works. This is our distance control button right here, but this button does not work. And our heated seats, those buttons do not freaking work. Why? Chips. They lack chips, so I guess that's supposed to be available before winter, so they will install the chip and it should work. That brings me to another really annoying feature, and that is annoying by far. The most annoying feature on this thing is this one. Right here we have our USB and USB-C, so A and C. Right here we have our USB-A and USB-C. Our standard socket over here for your laptop or whichever way, and wireless charger, which actually does work. But the most annoying thing is there is no 12 volt, so you can literally plug in your radar detector. There's no such thing over here in the entire truck. Doesn't matter if it's front or back, you cannot install the plug this in because there's no spot. So what you have to do, you have to get yourself one of those little things from, like, let's say Amazon in that case. But the other annoying thing is, like, let's say you want to use this and run a fridge. Let's say you're going on a road trip, you want your cold drinks or your beer or whichever way, and you want to plug in your 12 volt refrigerator to this particular thing. Nope, it will not work, because this thing maxes out at 5 volts. As far as I can tell, and I tested, this thing maxes out at 5 volts. It is extremely annoying. It will run a radar detector, but other than a radar detector, it's literally useless. That's our view from the back seats. Let's talk about the back seats. Obviously I have two kids, so one has one here, one seat, the other one has a seat right here. if you're an adult and let's say you're traveling with us somewhere, you have plenty, and I mean plenty of room for your legs. Even the vents go straight on your legs or your face, whichever way you want to put it. Also, we do have auxiliary, USB ports right here, a C and an A. Seating position, I would say, is more upright. It's not really backwards. I don't think this is actually adjustable at all, but it does have great feature as far as storage. Under my seat where I'm sitting is a floor storage, obviously, just basically the same as in any truck, which, let me show you that. Storage area in this particular thing under the seat is decent. I don't see it being bad or worse. It does take some space that is being taken is by the tools over here, right, that you have. Well, let me move this around. Those are your tools to drop the actual spare tire, to operate your jack, and the jack is actually on the other side, which that seat is more harder to be pulled out, so I'm not even gonna touch it. One other great thing is behind the seats right here, we've got another storage for your glass cleaner, for example, or your quick wax. And in the middle, let's say you don't have the car seats or anything like that, there's only the two of you traveling in the back, you can actually have your cup holders and your drinks and your cold beer right here. Of course, you shouldn't drink and drive, and you shouldn't have open alcohol in the vehicle. Yeah, that's just a disclaimer. Let's talk about why the hell would I trade a 25,000 mile truck that I had for this particular one. What sold me are the actual features, and what also sold me is the interior. When I first saw the interior, I'm like, no way that's gonna be a pickup truck. It's just no possible way they're gonna release that. And yet they did release it. So that was back in 2020 or 21, end of 21, I think. When I first saw the renders and sketches of the interior, I'm like, oh man, I gotta have that. When it becomes available, that's gonna be mine. And quite unfortunately, I did manage to find one very quickly, to be honest. There was one in transit at a particular dealer, which I prefer not to mention right now, not to give them any free advertisement. But they had one in transit. It was exactly what I wanted, the RST with a diesel. The truck was in the parking lot for 5 hours just right after inspection, and I bought it. I just couldn't resist the interior that I always wanted. So I'm really happy with the interior and the features that it currently has. There's some other things I would love to have, like the super cruise control. It has the features for that, it just doesn't have the option, and I don't think you can retrofit that option at all. I don't think it's even available right now. Plus you would have to change the steering wheel to this fancy with lights and everything. I don't really need that. Let's look at the motor. Yep, so this is the mighty Duramax 3-liter engine with, I would say, something that I would call a massive turbo by standards. It's actually nearly not that big. So this particular engine makes 277 horsepower and 460 pounds of torque. The torque comes in really, really early at about 1500 RPMs, which is fantastic when you're towing, moving, or actually doing anything related to having max power right away. Turbo lag, not really. Well, there is some. I'm not gonna say there's always going to be a turbo lag, even if it's assisted. This particular one has slight turbo lag, but it comes on really fast, and the spool up is actually really, really good. On my previous 2022 model, I have, which you guys probably seen the video, I have replaced the pipe, the turbo resonator pipe, which is located over there. Don't do it. It's honestly not worth it. It doesn't give you any sound. It didn't give me any sound, and I was really disappointed because I really wanted that to make the turbo sound better and louder, but it does not. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's take a look at that tow rating. Yes, tow rating. I almost forgot. See? So my tow rating is 12,000. Where is this? Right here. 12,900 pounds. 12,900 pounds versus, I believe, 9,000 something on the previous one. Do I feel the difference? Absolutely. First, second, third gear, whenever I have a fully loaded trailer, so that means the race car with all the equipment, everything I possibly can. The previous one took it, like a champ, there was no issues, but this one feels much lighter. So that shorter differential does give you that extra kick and more pickup speed. I think we should do the 0 to 60 time and just see what the heck it is. 0 to 60 time. I do not have any specialized timing gear, so what we're going to do, we'll try to catch as much of information using the camera and then pretty much count how many seconds, give or take, it took, frame by frame. Brake torque hit wants to go. 3, 2, 1, and go. That is 60. Next question is, have I been to the dealership ever since I bought this with any issues or problems? If I said no, I'd be lying big time. I have had problems. Nothing with engine emission or no start or anything like that related. The engine is perfectly fine, everything is perfectly good on that side. Problem was, this DRL stopped working pretty much like second or third date of ownership. This light cost $2,000. I actually have, they showed me a receipt with the part number of it, and it shows that it's $1,900 plus core. So they want a $125 core on the headlight. So they will make sure that before they change it, which is a hassle obviously for the dealership, they have to prove that it's not working because they are so rare and so expensive. So this LED headlight, if you ever need to replace one, it's $2,000. Maybe you can get a discount. Next thing on the list that actually annoyed me really much is on the way back from a trip, the adaptive cruise control and lane assist stopped working. For some reason the camera that's inside the windshield just lost calibration. One of the dealerships I went to didn't really know what the hell they did. They said that they performed a learning procedure, which apparently didn't work. And they told me, oh, it's okay, you just gotta drive the truck, give it a little bit more time, it's at 94%, it will learn itself and everything will be fine. Yeah, I put about 50 miles that day, which took way longer, and no, it did not work. So next day I got really angry and I just went straight to a different dealership without an appointment or anything, and I told them, hey, this is the deal, I think they messed up, I need you guys to help me out. If you need to, it's under warranty, please replace the camera. So they told me that the previous dealership screwed up everything and they didn't do the learning procedure at all. So probably they didn't know, or maybe they didn't follow the right steps to get it done. I'm not going to blame anybody because me, myself, and everybody else, we all make mistakes. So that was one of the problems that I had. Other than that, honestly, everything has been really good. It's a really great vehicle. This is a keeper for me. I will keep this truck probably as long as I can until I am being forced to actually go electric, which I did put a reservation on the EV Silverado, which I probably made a mistake because with 400-mile range, which equals to about 200 or less when towing, that's not really in my book, especially when we are in Illinois, and the nearest track from me is about, give or take, 60 miles. So going there and back and pretty much the whole thing will be almost dead. No, not really worth it, not in my book. So I'm sticking to the diesel. And let's do a conclusion of what I really think. It is a great truck, absolutely something that I always wanted to, especially because of that interior. And I do like the red accents of the Redline edition, and I think it looks better than any other LT, LTZ or anything out on the market. Probably except the ZR1, which I've seen one blue ZR1, and that is gorgeous. I love blue color, so that would be perfect for me. But I'm sticking to this one, and until next time. Security. When you hit the cameras and you give yourself this view, you can actually, it will allow you to drive until, I believe, 10 miles an hour, where you can actually clearly see where you're going and climb anything you would like to climb just by looking at your screen. So what is the truck like underneath? Well, currently it is very clean because it has 1,000 some miles, but we can actually take a look at it. So with this being all up onto this bank over here, we're able to clearly see everything out of DPFs, the transfer case, and everything else that goes back, including that aluminum drive shaft, exhaust system, and like I said, everything is nice and clean. One part of the maintenance that you would have to do in the future is changing the fuel filter. This is the fuel filter right here, very easily accessible and a dream to change. I don't really know where the oil filter is on this thing, because apparently I have not had to open the hood or do anything with it. Silverado, first time and the only time off-roading, if we can even call that off-roading. Adaptive cruise control. What a great invention. Very great invention, but it is really freaky invention. So we're flying at about 53 miles an hour. And look at this. Without any input, truck is slowing down, which is fantastic. But what happens if we actually stop? So we're coming to a pretty much halt right now at an intersection. So we are currently set at 55 miles an hour. It will keep that speed. We're at 0 right now, and guess what? No holding anything, because this thing will actually hold until the traffic gets going. Light is about to turn, so what's gonna happen now is gonna beep. I have two ways. One way that I like to do is just resume cruise control. See, it's telling me to go. I resume cruise control and basically just steer the car, or the truck in that case, towards my destination. Another thing I wanted to point out is as you get closer to the white line or yellow line, whichever way, you step away from your center, it will become orange and actually kind of slow you down so you can pay attention to what's going on. So once again, the green lines, once I'm in the middle, everything is fine. But as soon as I go a little bit to the side, it becomes obviously orange to catch my attention, and will sometimes even beep and let me know that, hey Chris, what the hell are you doing? So that is one of the great features of this particular model, and as far as adaptive cruise control. Now the question is, should you trust the adaptive cruise control 100%? Absolutely not. Don't even think about it, because you will get into an accident. What I mean by that is, I had a situation where, while testing, I would say, I was actually pulling up to a stoplight, and there was a flatbed tow truck in front of me. The camera that is using, which the camera is located right there in the mirror, sees what's going on and then makes decisions. The camera got blinded because of the surface of the actual tow truck's flatbed. So the camera got blinded, it didn't know what's going on, and it, I guess, sent a message to the ECU that, hey, you know what, it's clear, let's get going, we are good to go, which that wasn't really the case at that particular time. So what happens when you cross a line while having the adaptive cruise control and lane assist? So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to let go of the steering wheel, it's approaching the middle, and now just watch. It beeps, and it slightly turns the steering wheel to get you back on track, which is also a great feature. It kind of looks weird from the outside, probably people are thinking, oh, this guy has to be drunk, but no, it's the system actually saving your ass from going to a head-on collision. So a little update. The car has developed some kind of a clicking noise in the driveline. I've been to the dealer with this over here in Crystal Lake, my local dealer. Supposedly they applied some grease to the U-joints. There is a TSB on this thing, so they are aware of the situation, but it still clicks. Let's try to put it in reverse. There you go, loud click. Loud click can be heard. And now let's try to do the same thing, put it in drive. they still click. To me, it seems like it's coming from the differential area. It is definitely sounds like a free play on the actual U-joint caps that's on there. I cannot tell. I'm not a car mechanic, really, so I don't really know much. But it's something that I'm definitely going to see the dealership once again so they can figure out what's going on, because it's getting annoying, especially that I want this thing to run great. It's been running great, no issues whatsoever with any of the emissions or any related issues that people are having, like no starts or something like that. This one does not have that whatsoever. It just developed that stupid click, and sometimes it's worse, sometimes it's not. It all depends on the temperature, which also would indicate the free play is caused by something missing. So there's definitely grease that needs to be probably put in there, and technically speaking I could do that myself without any issues, because obviously I work with grease all the time. But why should I do it when the vehicle is under warranty? I should probably just leave it. Maybe next oil change I will make sure they put a priority on this thing, and we should be coming up at an oil change in about, let's say, 4,000-ish miles. So that's a perfect opportunity for them to actually start doing something right. Well, as always, thank you for watching Superior Drift Garage. I hope you enjoyed this video a little bit. It's a little informational right now. We'll do more review on this thing once we get some worse weather, like let's say snow. We'll do some drifts with it, see how it drifts. Probably won't be the greatest because it's obviously a pickup truck, but I will do my best to toss it in and just keep it going sideways. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.